What's up, everybody? It's that time again.
Hello.
Hopefully it's up and going and maybe on time this time. Says 7 o'clock here.
Mine says 7.
7 o'clock here. Y'all are late. Where's everybody at?
Ooh, until when?
Oh man.
Yes.
Yeah, it's been a long day. Not really. I don't know what we got going on. Oh, yep, here we go.
We got folks, got Charlie and Sideways. Hey, hey.
I guess we got sound, I suppose.
Let's see. There's Gunner.
Can't tell.
Yep.
Yeah.
We got sound.
How you doing, Charlie? Sideways, Gunner. Hadn't really decided really what we're gonna do. I know I put on the description the tail panel and possibly the inner rockers. I'll probably go ahead and do the inner rockers first.
Because everybody wants to see it.
Yeah. Everybody's hollering about inner rockers. When the inner rockers go, how do you get the inner rockers? Where's the inner rockers? I didn't know they were that big of an issue. So I figured I would go ahead and weld it. I feel pretty confident that my pillar is in the right spot. I'm gonna double check those before I weld it, but I'm pretty confident that they're in the correct spot as far as the way my gaps are going, and the front end is fitted up. So I will probably end up going ahead and doing those. I've already prepped them for you, Scott. So I don't have to prep. I do have a little bit of modifying to do to them, and I left that so I can show you how to do that.
We'll turn the volume up so it's extra loud.
Yeah, so what's up, Paradise?
Mike and
Mary.
EL, Go, Hurricane, Rudolph, Ty, Luke.
Oh, and my mom's on.
Yay, guys!
She came down this weekend, and we had a special weekend. If you didn't see that episode,
what an amazing weekend.
The live streaming, it's the project, the 64 Galaxy. I can't remember what Go named it.
I'll tell you in just a minute.
Or maybe I named it and I don't remember. Just
1964 Galaxy 500 XL, the surprise return.
Yeah, the surprise return. Sounds like a Star Wars movie.
It does.
The Galaxy, the Star Wars movie.
Hey, Don.
I'm actually going to edit that video, or do some editing and add, and I'm going to try my hand at that because I have a bunch of other videos that I took along the way of the build of that car, and it's still not over. The frame is sitting here beside me still. My dad didn't carry it home, which I've got to go there possibly this weekend. I'm not sure yet. We need to move some stuff and clean up his shop and make room for her, because we're going to be taking it up there and doing the filming and the videoing on it with him. But I had to have it here so I could put it on the trailer to carry it to the paint shop when T-Rex lets me know that the body is done. I'll be able to carry the frame down there and set it on there, or I possibly will just go down there and pick it up because I have it on a jig. I just had to bolt it down, and I think my dad might want to come and just pick up the chassis, and we carry the chassis down there and set it on it, because I think he wants to carry a enclosed trailer. So we can already see where this is going. This is going to be a trailer queen. He's going to drive it a couple miles from the car shows and pull it out and drive it there and pretend like he rode it in.
And that's perfectly fine.
I'm just playing.
Some kind of road time.
It'll get road time.
Yeah.
He better. If not, I'm coming to drive it.
We've got plenty of volunteers to drive it, so
I built it to drive.
If you can find the keys hidden away deep in Ken's pockets, because he ain't gonna let y'all drive it.
I've got an extra set made.
Wes said, "Hey guys, it's good to be back." Yeah, y'all. Wes was able to come hang out with us Saturday. That was awesome. And I don't know if Dennis is on here, but he got to see the tears flow that day as well.
Yeah. So if you hadn't seen it, go check it out. I know it wasn't really a lot. I mean, it's a lot of just hanging out and everybody here. The first part, I let it sit for about a minute or two, and till I got everybody in here, and then I pulled the cover back on the frame and had the motor on there. My dad didn't know the motor was here, but I had the motor on it, and then we did the little surprise, and he still didn't realize that the car was his, and I handed him the tag and the keys and the title, and he still didn't understand. And I had to tell him that the car was his, and he said, "No, it's not." And I was like, "Yes, it is." And he just blew up.
He saw the sign, what do you call it, the hero board that you made, and he was worried about finding room for the hero board. And then within the next 60 seconds, he found out that the actual car was his too, and he's like, and his mom, Miss Pat, was sitting there like, "I hear what you're saying, but what do you mean?"
Yeah, so he had to find the room for the whole car now. But he's found a spot. If you ain't on his friends list on Facebook, you can go there. He needs to make it shareable. He posted about it.
About an hour within the
I'll probably have to go on my phone and do a screen record and show him how to change it to where it's shareable.
Make it public. Hey, Blue!
Because I was going to share it, but he has the hero board on the easel standing in the living room.
Yeah.
So
instead of watching TV, he's just looking at his car on a board.
And my brother's here. So, and we don't have, let's see. I was going back up here. Sideways said, "Rockers are fun." Gunner said, "Please show how to fix that corner at the bottom where the filler panel and the quarter meet." He's talking about the tail panel, I suppose. Probably, but I'm gonna try and pull that in. I'll probably just put one rocker in tonight, one inner rocker, and then I'll jump back there and continue on with the tail panel on pulling it.
We did, even though we didn't get the Galaxy displayed at the Moonshine Festival, we did all his kids and Ken and Pat and Josh and Shelly and some more of us went to the Moonshine Festival. My mom and dad were there. I got to spend hours with them, which was fantastic. So it really was just like an all-around phenomenal weekend for everybody involved. We had people that traveled from long distances to come here and celebrate, and we were finally, after 14, 15 months, we were able to tell the secret that we've been keeping from Ken. It was great.
It's been over a year. I bought it September 18th on my birthday.
Yep.
So all the way up until Saturday.
But weren't you looking at them before that? Didn't you already have the idea? You just sat and found the actual car? Because I think you were looking at one before that, and then
about a week or so.
Something.
2 weeks before. But I actually went and bought the car on my birthday, and it's been since September 18th. A secret. Cause and I wasn't going to do nothing but just build a new black body, put it on the factory chassis, and go ahead and tub the chassis and all, and have it ready, and then go hang out with him and set up everything, narrow the rear end, put glass in it, do stuff together. That was my original intentions. And then it come that we were going to build, that we were going to carry it to SEMA, we were going to full build it, and I was worried about all that. I was like, well, now I'm not going to get to spend time with my dad working on it, and that's what I wanted. that way if anything ever happened and I had the car back, it would be something that I spent time with my dad doing something that I enjoy, because he loves cars. He's never really had an old car as far as in my life, and he's a machinist. I went to school to do machining, but I fell back to cars. I love cars. We share the love of cars. I just enjoy building them. So I figured if I started that project and worked with him, then I would have something to remember him by, that we both put time in and both loved. So that was the deal with it. And my dad's an awesome guy. He gives to everybody. He's always helping everybody else. He don't ever do anything for himself. He would give you the shirt off his back. He would do. He's got a heart just as big as mine, and he would, you know, like I say, he would do anything for anybody. He always helps people in his town and does projects for them and gives his work away, and I just figured it was time to return the favor. And God has blessed me beyond measure, and this is my way of giving back to him. If I could change anything about the whole build, it would be I would post more about how God affected the build along the way, and show more glory to him, because without the man upstairs, this car wouldn't be what it is today, and it wouldn't mean what it means. So but I guess we'll read these last comments, and we'll get over here and start working.
Your dad said you best get on the Camaro or you're gonna lose viewers.
I ain't worried about viewers. I
We're
am worried about you.
That like watching.
I didn't mean I ain't worried about my viewers. I love all you, truly do. Like I'm a very godly man, and I love everybody. I try to treat people how I want to be treated, and I really do. I love everybody that's on here, but when I mean I'm not worried about you guys, it's because the ones that's gonna be here are gonna be here. The ones that ain't gonna be here. If they leave, then I'm sorry, it's their loss. Because being here is definitely life-changing if you stay here and just share with us on our builds and stuff. And we got some other stuff in the works, and I started the YouTube wanting kind of the famous life, and to be known for building cars and have my name out there. But this Galaxy build has really slowed me down on that. I'm not out here anymore trying to be famous. I'm here for you guys. I'm here to build a good car. I'm here to give y'all a good show, but I'm also here to put the glory of God out there for everybody to see. Like I say, if you're here, you're here. If you ain't, you ain't. But we'll get on the car now, and I'll stop preaching. I'll stop preaching. Anyways, let's see. I want to read these last comments.
Yeah, Sideways says, how hard is it to replace the tail panel? And then Gunner said that he was asking about the area at the top left of the trunk lid. Last week you said it was an easy fix. Mine fits exactly like what you showed last week.
So he's asking about
let's see, what was the first question?
The top left corner. So he's talking about where the deck,
meet,
yeah, where they meet.
Pillar.
That will probably come after I get it welded. I always leave it till last because I like to get the stiffener in there. That way when I'm hammering on it, it gives it something more rigid to be able to hammer it. And I'll show you my hammer and what I use. And I mean, it's pretty simple, but that will come after I drop the quarters and do the weld up on the inside.
And hey, Bob, I think you are the only one I didn't say hey to. If we've missed any of you guys, I apologize. We try to say hey to everybody. Let's see. EL said he's still here, and Wes said let him go. We enjoy hearing it. And then Paradise and Charlie said that you're lucky to have your dad because they've lost theirs. That's unfortunate, guys. Sorry to hear that.
Bob said you are famous. I like Sandra Reese. Love you.
Love you.
I ain't trying to be famous. I just want to help you guys build your cars and be here for y'all. And
you can be famous, and that's okay. It's just the chasing of the fame and using your fame to glorify God is fine. It's okay to be famous. It's okay to be well known. You just have to.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Do right.
I'm still here. I'm not going to leave. I'm not leaving you guys. It's just I firmly believe that if it's God's will, the people that will be here, it'll happen. It'll come in its own time. But until then, we're going to start working on this car, and I'm going to keep you guys happy that I got here.
Yeah.
And I'm really happy to have all y'all.
I'm a little stove up. I hurt my back, so if the camera's not good tonight, I apologize in advance.
I've met some cool guys on here and people. Yeah, Aaron's getting over being shoulder or something, and I throwed my back out in the middle of the night last night. Not that way. I don't know what I did in the bed, but I rolled wrong, and it's getting better. I'm trying not to walk with it, because if I do that, it's going to cause something else to hurt. Getting old.
Hey, Bubba. And Juby Kevin says thanks for the sketch. He got that and is pleased.
Hopefully it printed out to the right. I drew all the circles for the front so that you would be able to line those up pretty close. But that hole is actually like egg-shaped. So you should be able to line up all these holes and then just scribe it on there and be good. If you have any problem, just let me know, and I'll try and figure out something else to do. I had thought about maybe some measurements off of this, but there's really no center to it.
Yeah, because it's oblong.
So let's grab one of these. I had that other one prepped, but I won't put it in. I'll start with this one. It's already prepped here. Let me see. I've got it prepped, basically bottom, which you would probably prep it different because of welding at home, drilling and welding. I would probably say that.
What is at home drilling gonna? You got a plug weld at home?
If I was gonna plug weld or do it at home and I didn't have a spot welder, I would drill this side probably, because this side, when you fill the weld, you got a way to get in there, and then you got a way to get in here and grind all that and make it look back smooth, versus trying to do here, which I don't know how you drill holes there unless you had a hole popper like mine, punch. But probably pretty much it would be on the inside. We've been selling a good bit of the mid-rocker braces for anybody who doesn't know. They make every part to the car except for I call it the mid-rocker brace that welds in right here, that we did on the outer rocker before we installed it. We sell them. Aaron actually shipped out a set this morning.
Yep.
So with this, usually I just eyeball it, but this car's tubbed, so you probably wouldn't have to remove this, but I usually remove this, or I either fold it.
Light in the background.
Yeah, my light.
Your NASA Space Center?
You can either fold it or you can cut it off. I like to cut it off because I end up stitching it. So I'm just gonna go over to the saw, and I'm gonna cut about from the little point here straight up, and I'm gonna test fit it. I might have to take a little more. And this is only because it's been tubbed. As you can see, I cut the first one that much, and then I ended up having to take a little bit more. So it's better to cut a little
small.
bit at a time.
Yeah, it's easier to cut more than put it back on. And while just kidding.
Do what?
I was gonna try to talk during that, but I was...
So I just cut that end off. Now, usually I look at this end and see if this thing is folded good, because I don't want it to get in the way. So what I like to do is try and fold it on down to where it's near this point here. Which I need to find my scribe so I can point. So I usually try to break it on down here where this level is, right there, and fold it a little more to relieve that, because once I get it in there, I can hammer this back down to the floor, and then I just drill me 3 spots or 2 spots, and I plug weld it to the floor.
Can we take a break and look at these gloves, guys? No hole.
Oh yeah, they got one right there.
Oh man.
One of my friends' brothers gave me these, and I've worn them today back in the back.
Right.
So. I was just straightening it a little. But as you can see, I kind of broke it harder.
Yeah, so now where he was pointing the scribe, that's now where it's kind of been
folded to.
Yep, beautiful.
So we're gonna, I don't know if Erin can get over here or if she can.
Where do you want me to go?
I'm gonna stick it in, and I'm gonna go ahead and undo my clamps. But on my jig, I have these pieces that hold my rocker up, which I have the quarters screwed. It's clamped up top, so it shouldn't drop either way. But I have these in here, and I should be able to undo my 2 clamps. Usually I have more clamps, but I don't today.
We do things a little different for the Tech Talk Tuesdays.
I've got them out of the way. I'm gonna go ahead, because I forgot to before I unclamped them, but it ain't no big deal. The reason that I don't do this inner rocker until last is because this piece has to be welded with the spot welder before that goes in. So I'm going to spot weld that, and then I'm going to put it in. I'm going to double check my front. I'm going to check, looks all right, it's workable. I'm going to check my 12 inches up front.
Albert has just joined. Guess where he's from, babe?
Where?
Alaska.
So,
or he's in Alaska.
So from the hole underneath to the center of this hole should be 12 inches.
And it is.
So that's good on there. And my rocker is at the end of my door here. So I'm gonna go ahead and weld that because it checks out, and I believe that it'll work. If it don't, it's only a couple spot welds I'll have to take out, but I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna have to. So we'll get the spot welder and fire it up.
And Albert, just so you know, we do have a new order of shirts placed. She didn't really give me an ETA, but it typically takes them a couple of weeks to get everything out. We're getting some zip-up hoodies made and some new t-shirts. And I'm getting sizes from medium to 3X this time, so hopefully we can accommodate everybody. I'm also working on getting that set up on our website so that you can purchase them online instead of having to call me in the office, which I know some people aren't really fond of.
So I usually when I do my, it's hard to get in here. Let me move this so you can.
You've got it all over your nose too, hon.
What?
Split.
Oh, I don't know why. So usually when I do the spot welder, I try to get this thing hanging at the angle that I'm going to be using it at, because this thing swivels. And when it does, this moves. So I usually try to get it at the angle where this is going at when I place my pin in. So see how it's a little bit off? Then I rotate this one until it gets dead on. So, but right now to get it over on the rocker, I got to take that pin out, and I usually look at where, if there's a burnt mark, I can see that burnt mark. I know that side needs to go out and I'll be good. But since this thing has a hole in the floor at the area that I'm doing this, I can just go through there with it and line it up underneath, and it's good.
Sorry, I'm not catching that very good, guys. But
So now I'm just going to start at the back here and try to keep it from touching everything, but I'm trying to let y'all be able to see. And I'm just going to go up through there. I want to make sure, I was making sure on the bottom side that I was at the end of the rocker.
yeah.
Oh, that painted surface there.
Nope, it don't like it.
So,
Ow!
there's hollering. I'm gonna get one more. That one didn't take, so.
This is how hoodies get holes in them.
This is how gloves get holes in them.
Yeah.
Everything gets holes.
This is my new hoodie.
You got a hole in it?
I don't know. I got a camera in one hand and a camera in the other hand. So you're taking the pin out again so you can get it out from the car.
Yeah, that's why I was hammering it, trying to loosen it. And this thing, you always want to strap it because it will fly off and it's expensive. So, got that done. I'm gonna do the other side. So I'm gonna go ahead and move this out the way. Get my wrench, ratchet out.
Albert, do you live in Alaska or are you just there for business or pleasure or something else?
I want some property in Alaska.
Yeah, Juby wants to
But I
fly.
gotta get me
He wants to get himself a plane.
yeah, I want a Cub, like a J3 Cub. So, all right, got that done. And I have the clamps off.
Paradise says that sure beats drilling, MIG welding, and then grinding.
Yeah, that spot, I guess you'd have to drill it from the top and plug weld it before you stuck the inner rocker in. Because underneath, I have, when I first started doing this, forgot to weld that. And I had the car done and I had it on the lift, and Wesley checked the car off and he didn't see the spot welds underneath the bottom of the car. And he's like, you didn't spot weld that? And I was like, nope, I didn't. So I had to drill up through there and hopefully hit the spot and figure it out down through there. I did, got it welded, cleaned up, it's all good. But I learned then, don't forget that. So I've got it opened up, clamps off. I'm gonna stick this in. And the way I do it is I stick the front end first, push it in, and then I just work it over. Now, if this thing just drops right in, then it ain't my fault. So I'm going to, it's a little bit of a gap back here. I don't know, Aaron's got the camera. Right here, this usually ends up like this because I think the fold is wrong. But I can tell right here that I need to come forward some with it. And the way to get it to go forward is I'm gonna trim some off the bottom right here. So now I got to figure out getting this thing back up out of here, which is a pain. Let me find my...
So you don't want to do that 3 or 4 times, huh?
I'm gonna grab my vice grips.
Oh, Albert is a pilot.
Ah.
That's why he's in Alaska.
Come and get me. There's an airport. Come and get me. You forgot me.
You forgot Juby. Hey, that came on out.
Like I say, that usually it ends up having to get cut.
So that's what you were talking about. You got a short. Oh no, the
I'm
other
going to
side.
trim this side now to get this closer to the floor and relieve this some.
Okay.
So I could probably. No, I probably can't. I'm going to have to do it with the grinder here.
Oh, Scott, we're getting the noisemaker out.
Uh-oh. So I cut about a 1/4 inch off. It's not gonna hurt it if it's
A hair short.
or whatever. So now that I've done that, I'm gonna hammer this thing again some to move it back a little bit, so if it is touching the floor. Now I could go over to the
Break.
to the anvil, but what I'm gonna do is just hold this with my hand tongs a little bit. I don't want to get too crazy with it, but like I say, with that flange, I can always hammer it to the floor. I just want to leave enough room that I'm not fighting it. But now you see I broke it down to that point. So we'll try it again.
Albert says he'll never forget Juby, and then Mike and Mary said if you ever get to Elmira, New York Airport, just yell and we can come visit them and their dogs and cars.
So I am hitting at the top, I can tell, and it's happened before. So I'm going to take a little off of the top side right here. I would rather that back there fit tight than up here. So. Little sparks in the coke never hurt.
Yummy.
Hammer that back again.
And I'm assuming every car is a smidge difference, or else you would have a template of exactly what to cut off.
Yeah, just trial and error, test fit.
Okay.
In, out, in, out.
Yep.
Kind of like Baptist church, up, down, up, down. Now it's a little better. There, there, and that's a lot closer. So it's in there. So you can see it's a little bit closer, but I'm gonna leave the front undone now.
I've confused the camera.
Yeah, she's
There we
got.
go.
I'm going to try and pull it up a little bit. I thought somebody was here. What I'm doing is just moving it up a little to get it even with the top. And now I'm going to get my other vice grip so I can clamp that corner, because I like for it to be tight, and the vice grips work better than any of them. I can move this ratchet strap.
You're fine as long as I'm.
But I usually try to get it in the corner here. And I just work it.
Got another New Yorker here. Hello, Jeffrey Narrow.
So, you see how it pulled up and went in there perfect? What'd I tell you? Drive it down, get it flush. I'll leave them there. And I'm going to pull this side up because it doesn't drop down again. And I'm going to use a screwdriver. I'm going to stick it in here, pull up on it, get my hammer a little low, and just, and it worked right up. I'll put these on there, but I use a flat clamp. Get it a little snug, and then I can now tighten it down. And that's it.
And you were just making that flush?
Yeah. I just want it flush, and then now when I get ready to weld it, let me go ahead and put my clamps on the bottom back on. Now when I get ready to weld the floor, you can actually see the floor is a little bit below right here. Down through here it's pretty good, that's typical.
So where that
but right there it's a little low. So what I'll do is whenever I go to weld it up, I'm going to end up putting a floor jack here with a piece of wood or a piece of steel, and I'm going to push up the floor right here and clamp it. But I'll end up getting more clamps on. But right now, stick with these. That's pretty typical right there. But right there where it's low, it'll weld right there, no issue. And you could just come back and trim that. But I'd rather just throw a piece of a bar in here along. You can stick it in there, you gotta stick it down up under that other side, and then put the porter power right here, or jack, push it up. It don't take much, clamp it off. I wouldn't use this, that's aluminum. So, that's how you put the inner rocker in. Plug weld, like I say, these parts right here, I just hammer them over. Hammer those seat pan pieces, and all I do is I stitch that because it's going to be under the seat pan. So I'll stitch up that, and then I'll start halfway up this, and I'll stitch around it and back down. I'll get that stitched, and then you can see I fold that flange back down, and all I do is come in here and just drill me 2 or 3 holes, plug weld it, and grind it, and it's good to go. Now, I've actually got to find some clamps and put on there so I can get my vice grips back, because I need them for the tail panel. Here's the vice grips, or I should get 2. That's all I need.
Alex said there's nothing but God-given talent right there.
Yeah, he blessed me. So I'm gonna put this on here. I'm gonna get these because I made these specially for the tail panel. I've got these hooks on there, or washers I welded on the end. That's why they stay hanging up there, because these are like single-use item. So let me see.
They only have one purpose. You don't want them clamping just everything.
They have multiple purposes, but I only use them for basically one purpose, and that's back here. So the tail panel, I'm gonna start working it down. I'm gonna go grab some vice grips, and I'm gonna start working on down this right here. I was gonna pull it. I'll probably hook here and pull it down, because I've never had one go together like this without no issues, but there still could be some. I've got the one I talk about. It's broke. I need a new one, but this keeps from pulling. So when I pull on it, it don't leave a dent on it like a ring. I don't know if anybody can find one. I try to show everybody, because not when everybody looks up the build, they might not see one where I talk about this. So if it pertains to this and a certain thing, I try to talk about it every time. I'm sorry, but if somebody Googles or YouTube how to do quarter panel or tail panel fitment, they might not catch the one video that it has this in, or I explain about it. So I try to explain each time. These is the ones I like to use. This is what you typically get. A lot of times you can't get these in there, or if you put it in here. So you got it in there, and if you're pulling down on it, you notice that this part is pushing against it. So if you're pulling on it, it's gonna have more of a tendency to dent right here than this one will, because this one don't have no hard side. There's cloth there, and it don't put concentrated pressure on one point like a ball peen hammer. But this one fits most all little holes, stuff like that. Fits the in here. I love it. That's why I have it tied off, and I don't put a lot of pressure. So I'm gonna hook it here. And
no, but with it that other one having that concentrated point of pressure can dent it, even if you're not putting that much pressure on it, because all of the weight is in that one little part that's touching the metal. So as you see right here, there's the only place it touches is where that fabric is. So and it's kind of like stretched out, so it's not gonna cause any dents.
So I have it tied all. I have it. Let me get my prop. When I talked about putting the tail panel in, I talked about getting, make sure I don't pull this thing out past again. I talked about, move it down here out of the way. We'll just work on this corner. I talked about putting a screw here. When you get this thing to the right spot, putting a screw here, and you end up letting off of your strap in here, and it springs back because you've got it right here. You don't worry about that spot. You work it around, clamp it on the inside. I've got one pair of vice grips right here clamped, and then I clamp this and pull this in. So now I'm gonna work my way on around with vice grips. Let me go get some other than my special purpose.
I usually follow him, guys, but my back's killing me, so I'm just not walking back and forth with him today.
Got a few. These here I'll probably end up throwing at the wall in a minute, because they don't open.
They don't let me.
I can't stand when they do that. They must have got welded or something. So I'm gonna go ahead and clamp this corner. And when I'm clamping on it, I try to work my tail panel out to where it needs to be and get it profiling. Now, right now, I'm not really concentrating on getting it to profile, because this is not final fitment. I'm just checking it to make sure that it's close enough that when I take the quarter panel off, weld it up, and put it back together, I won't have no issues. So right now, I'm just gonna clamp it off down through there, see if it'll kind of profile close, and if I notice there's something wrong when I have the quarter panel off, I can fix it. Because I have had some that I had to take my cutting wheel, and I've had to cut straight in right here and then hammer this in to it, just tap it in and then weld that up, and it be on the inside of this so you can't see it. I always try to make my cuts where I don't have to do as much beautiful grinding work, just enough to get by, and it's hidden. You'll never see it. If I slit that and welded it back down through there, you would never see it. You won't have to have no body work right here. I mean, besides the regular. But I just usually either scribe it. When I take the quarter panel off, I'll cut it out, I'll lay it in, and I'll weld it up, and then when I go to put it back together, it's good. So
surgical precision.
I'm not gonna do it just yet because I feel like I can work this one out because I'm a little far behind. Now, up here, when I'm starting to work this up.
Do you have a light? People are saying that they can't see the...
Yes, let's see. That I appreciate it.
It's hard to see the definition and all that black.
Yeah, maybe that'll work.
Yeah, that looks much better.
So like,
thanks for pointing that out, Albert.
Yeah. So like right there, if I was on final fitment and I couldn't get this out, I would scribe that. When I take the quarter off, I'd cut me a slot in it, and I'd basically just remember how much I need to go in. That looks about like 2 blade widths. So I would do that. But I'm not gonna do it yet, because once I get this pulled out down here and get it profiling and working up, when I get up to here, it's not really gonna matter if this is tucked in, because if this corner's split, I can always take this and pull it out to meet out here. Okay. And I'll show y'all that when I get to the final fitment of putting the quarter panel back on and the tail panel back in. But right now I'm just working it around. I got 2 good clamps up here. I'm gonna pull on this, and I can already see a spot right here that I'm gonna have an issue with. This is hitting right in there. So to be able to get that flush, I would either hammer that or I would grind it some. So when I take it back apart, I'm probably gonna end up grinding that area down, which you can basically see it kinda, I ain't gonna go too far, but I'm gonna right there down. Let me see what it does. If I pull on it some more. And when I pull on it with the hammer, when I pull on it with a strap, I usually tap on it, but I like to tap on a folded edge. That way I'm not denting it.
And that just lets things move around because you got a little tension on it?
Yeah. And it kind of helped it a little bit. And I'm gonna go ahead and put a clamp in here and see what it does. And it pretty much closed it up. But I can tell that that's what it's gonna need. So when I take the quarter panel off, I'll adjust that. A way that I remember to do stuff like that is, let me find it. I must have left it in the back. Let me look back here. I was working in the back shop today, so some of my tools are back there. I think it's laying on the top of the car, because I made me a little tray to catch the, when I was sweating out all the lead, I make me a little tape line to catch it so it don't hit me in the stomach.
I thought you were gonna say you saved it for Miss Denise. She's got buckets of lead that somebody used to save her from here when y'all pulled lead out.
Oh.
She uses it.
So I usually just keep tape, and I'll be like, all right, I know I gotta do that, so I'll stick me a piece of tape there, and that'll remind me when I take the quarter off and start prepping it that I have to do attention to this right here. So right there, and then my tail panel, put me a piece there. And that will remind me when I take it out that I got to adjust on that, because you don't want to get it all back up on there and then be like, oh, I forgot that. So, got my tape on there, got it pulled down. I've got three clamps. I'm gonna go ahead and put one more in here just to be on the safe side. And now I'm gonna take my...
Oh, I don't know if y'all saw all that in motion.
All of it went up. I don't have them in there. I don't know what I did with them, but my bolts. But it'll be all right for right now. I usually put a bolt in here and pull this up tight on both sides. I don't know what I did with them, but it's not really that big of a deal right this minute. I can stick this in there to kind of keep it from moving. I don't have nuts, but I'll put it in there. Let me grab my two specialty tool. So now down here, I'm trying to get this here to profile and make this gap look good. I can already tell right here there's a little knot, so I would stick me a piece of tape right here so I would know to pay attention to that. And then it looks like I might end up having to trim some, but I'm gonna try it anyways like it is. So I'm gonna clamp both of the...
And that's the quarter clamping to what? What do you? What did you just
to the drop off?
To the drop off.
Yeah. So I don't know if I can get it on this side or not.
I can't really get under there to see what you're clamping to.
I'm going to both the drop off and the quarter panel.
Okay.
So I usually don't clamp out here because I can't really get a...
Well, don't clamp where you normally clamp.
I'm trying to get it tight, and I'm gonna go right there. I'll try it. Both sides have to come in, so I'll clamp both of them.
He doesn't know why he's reluctant to install new full quarter panels. He's got new ones sitting there. He's just reluctant to pull the trigger. Still a ways off before he needs to decide, though.
So
Go says, "You can do it, Paradise."
Yeah. So
you're strapping the two together.
And now I'm just gonna look at it and I'm gonna pull it over. And it's getting there, but this thing's kind of lazy.
I was about to say it's got a different curvature than the tail panel. Stand up.
I'm gonna end up having to trim this, but the way this thing is, I'll probably end up hammering it back once I get it off. But what I'm doing is just looking to see if I've got enough play, and I usually tap it with the hammer. And I check it.
Are you also grabbing the inner cross member with the vice grips, or just the drop off? Just
the drop off. If you grab the inner cross member, it's not going to pull. So when I get it to where it looks good, I'll end up putting a screw in here through right here near the tail panel. I'll put a screw through the quarter panel, through the drop off, and through the inner tail panel, the cross member. But when I do that, I want to make sure that I have my inner cross member secured on the inside with these two screws that I have in here that I put in back when I did that. Because if I let it go, it's going to pull my tail panel over with it. So let's see what this side did.
I'm oohing and ahhing like I'm going to do this once in my life.
So this side's still it's still out. I could try and pull it some more. And let me look at this side. This side tightened up more. This side is close, but I think it's workable. All my tail panels fitting up good. So this one over here, since I didn't work this side down, once I work it down, it'll help it.
It'll close it
because
up
I forgot I was only going to do one side.
Yeah.
So right now I can tell, and when I drop the quarter to weld up, my tape spot's there, and then I can see right here that my tail panel is hitting right here. You can see it's touching it right there, and it's holding it off. But I usually try and trim that and leave about 1/8 of an inch. I don't know if you can see, but I usually try and leave like 1/8 of an inch. So when I drop it out and I do it, I'll show you what I do, how much I take off. But right now, it's pretty much where it needs to go.
Bob says he's got quarters and a tail panel, and he's just waiting to get the courage as well. And let's see, Paradise said Juby helps with my, oh, something hopped. Juby helps with building my confidence with him sharing his insight. Go-Go said Juby makes me want to start over.
So I'm gonna put a piece of tape there, and I'll know that, and then I'm gonna put a piece on the quarter because there's that little knot that I need to knock out. So basically those are just reminders that that area needs attention, and I'll remember it because I know what I did.
Sideways says the more he watches, the more he counts his pennies to make sure he can send it to you one day. He'll just let you do it.
So pretty much from what I can see, all of it's gonna pull in and it's gonna work. So it would be close to doing the weld up. So I'm gonna go around here and I might pull with the swing it around since pretty much to that point. Well, I'll talk about this. I was gonna go ahead and throw the drip rail on there, but I'm not gonna put the drip rail on right now because I'd rather it be included on when I do the roof.
Yeah,
putting the drip rail on that video instead of doubling back. So, and it's about time anyways, since we did start on time.
We did.
But
and we talked for 2 minutes longer than we were supposed to though, so we are on 2 minutes.
So I have a little
a maneuvering tool?
Yeah, pry bar. So my quarter panel is it's a little bit tighter at the bottom, and I know it'll move forward once I get the inside welded up. I know I got enough room for it to slide forward. I can feel it. It's a little bit off right there. It's flush with it there, back here. But I can definitely tell that my gap at the top is bigger. Now let me see what the other side looks like. I think this side is near about pretty good. It's pretty even. You can see it's a little ways, it's closer down there, a little bit open there, and that's typically a Camaro because don't know if it's the door or the quarter panel. When I put these quarter panels, the premium ones, on a 69 Camaro that had factory doors, this worked out good. Don't know if those doors were ever worked or anything, but it came out good. So I would pretty much be willing to bet that it's in the door. And that would be easy. Just I'll probably do a video on it, adding to this edge of this door. But to close this gap up at the top, I always loosen up let me see if I can get a light under there. I don't think I've got them tight, but let me see.
I didn't even think about that when I hollered it out to you, babe. This is our 50th Tech Talk Tuesday. That is a pretty good milestone.
Yeah. So, hand me this.
Okay.
Oh yeah, we're running low on battery.
We're not bad.
Not too bad, but in here on the.
Thank you for keeping us on track on that, Go-Go.
Can't kind of hold my light and.
You want? Let me see if I can squat.
You can good. The rear frame rail, leaf spring, shackle, mount, whatever you want to call it. I got it loose on the jig, and the slot on the outside of this, the jig on the inside is slotted so that I can move this up and down. So what I'm going to do is stick my pry bar in here, and I'm going to lift this, and whatever I lift on this side I want to do on that side. I don't want to lift one side and not the other side. So I'm going to lift this side and put the same amount of spacer in it as I do on that side. I'll hand her the camera back, and let me grab my spacer, and we'll see what it does to this gap.
Go-Go says watching you hurts his OCD.
Uh-oh. Why?
I don't know. Because you're so...
Because I'm not OCD?
I guess because you're just like, oh, that's easy. Oh, it's just going to fly in there.
It does. Usually it just flies in like that deck lid. It flew in from the back. Just
chunk it from the road. It works.
Checking out my pilot skills. So, I got this little, I think it's 1/2 inch or 3/8. I think it's 1/2 inch. If I can get this thing, I'm gonna have to get another screwdriver. I have two little pry bars, and I don't know where my other one went. It's so cute too.
Paul, it's okay to be late every now and then. You're still allowed to come to the party.
I don't know where it is.
We appreciate you watching.
Anyways, I'll use this. I just can't get my pry bar up in there. And it's hard to do it with this thing rolling all around. Who's late? Who's late?
Mr. Paul Walsh.
Uh-oh, let's see it. Fired.
Let's see it. That's a demerit. Isn't that what you used to get in school?
Yeah. You're hurting me, ain't it?
Don't pop yourself in the face.
I've done it a few times. Let me see. It's a good bit of weight. I'm trying to make sure I got the bar up in there far enough to where it ain't going to get me.
Go-Go says the OCD comment is really more of him having to go back and check his work against how you did it.
I can't get my... I was trying to get my... I had my part stuck up under it. Alright. Now, finally. See, putting a little spacer in, I fought harder than building the whole car. Now I'm gonna jump on the other side, throw this one in.
Throw it, literally.
Try to throw it. It should go a little bit easier than that one. We think. It's all because I'm missing my one little screwdriver. That's exactly it. See if I can scratch this arm up like I did the other side.
Ken, that's how my school was set up too. We got paddlings. My mom had to sign a permission slip. I think, or either my teacher just paddled me because she wanted to, but I'd probably deserved all of them.
And
look at
that thing's tighter. Now let's see on this side. It's definitely tighter, but like I say, it's still gonna need to roll.
Charlie said when you lift the back end, doesn't that cause the front edge of the cell panel to wedge in and bind on the drip rails?
No, because I don't have drip rails in. And typically on a quarter panel, which I'll show how to do it when I take it back off. Because right now I was just checking to see how it's going. But when I do the video on putting the drip rail in, I'll go ahead and punch holes in it, and then I'm going to stick my drip rail up in there, and I'll line it up, which down there, and I'll line it up here, and then I feel in here, and I generally know where it's supposed to be, what this feels like. So I'll get it up in there, and then what I'll do is I'll end up putting some screws up here, or either if I put the roof on, I'll stick the roof up there, and then I'll come in on the inside and I'll put a tack. I'll put a tack in here, a tack right here, maybe one right here, and one right here. And then at the end of the build, after I get it done, I'll just come in here and cut that tack out and clean it up. But I can tell right now that it's pulled away a little bit on this side. It's in the quarter. So my video where I showed about hammering this flange back, and I can tell that that's way big, the step right there. So what I do is just hammer this back with my hammer, with my body hammer, so that I can get a snugger fit. So I end up doing that, but I'll probably wait and do it when I take the quarter panel off. I better not. I better do it before I do. So I end up hammering it and putting it in. Let's see how the other one looks. I can tell this side, you can see that I can't really point because of my gloves, and I don't have nothing to point with. Let's see. This right. That's too small. This will work. You can tell this right, the little step right here. You can see how wide that is. So that width from the brake to there, this one's actually close, but it's a little bit off from factory, what the factory looks like. A lot of people ask about that. Does the quarter panel have that? The factory ones do, and they ask if the reman or aftermarket quarter panels have that. AMD does. This is an AMD quarter panel, and it has it. But now if we go over on the other side, let me check real quick before I go back over there. I'm gonna stick this, and I can feel inside of here, and I can tell that this one is near about perfect. I can feel it in there, and I know what it feels like on a factory, so I can tell this one's pretty good, and I can tell by the door gap that it's pretty much spot on. This one over here, if you look at that flange, you can see that flange is way bigger.
Yeah, it's much
That's
bigger.
way bigger. That folds way bigger, So what I'm gonna do is end up hammering this back and putting my drip rail back on it. But my drip rail on the other side that I left hanging. Always clamp everything so it don't fall. This is actually on my video on preparing a quarter panel for fitment, is to hammer this back. That's one of the things that I do, is hammer this back, and I do some stuff on the back part. And like I say, I'm just going hammer it back, and I'm gonna see how close I get. Now when you hammer it, sometimes you end up having to trim this because it won't fit in there, and pretty much I'm good there. Still a little bit off. I can feel down in here that it's a little bit away from it. So I'll end up just trimming this out a little bit and hammering that back some more. Now when you do just making sure, because I think it's seated on it. If you're doing a quarter panel alone into your factory drip rail, and that's all you're doing is a quarter panel, and you're fighting with your door gap and it's open at the top, your quarter panel needs to shift up. And that's what you do, is hammer that back to get your quarter panel to shift into place. But I can definitely tell that there's something wrong with it. It's close, but it's not where I want it to be. So when I drop the quarter panel off, I'm gonna get that thing a little bit more, and I might have to fit it a couple more times. But that's really how you do it. So I guess when we come back next Tuesday, I'll go ahead and weld that other part of the inner rocker in the brace, put the inner rocker in, and we'll do the roof stuff. I'll go ahead and put the drip rail up here, and I might drop this quarter panel and hammer this back and get it working right here, and then hang it back up there and let you see that it's fitting better and that my gap is a little bit better.
And if you want to watch more on that, just go to episode 39 where he does the Camaro quarter panel.
Yeah. So, but the gap's a little bit better. I still think that I need to work my quarter panel up, get this hammered back some, and plus I am a good ways forward. I didn't know that.
So you've got room to come back.
So maybe next week I'll hammer that some more on the quarter. I'll hammer that a little more, trim it. I won't take the quarter off. I'll get the drip rail working. We'll work on the roof, and I'm gonna move this door back because I can actually see right here. Grab my screwdriver, my pointer.
Screwdriver.
I need me a laser pointer.
Screwdriver.
I do a little laser pointer.
Oh, Wheezy would love that.
But you can see, if I put that at the edge of the rocker, I've got a good little bit there. I mean,
close.
You can see it's past the end of the rocker.
Yeah, so you got room.
If I go up this and it's hitting, I'm past it. So I can shift my door back, and when I shift my door back, bring it on back, I'm not gonna worry about the bottom down here. When I shift it back and get that lined up and I get it level with the rocker, it's gonna fix this gap right here, and when it fixes this, it's gonna be tight down here, I know. So I'll end up putting my porta power in here, and I'll push this back, and I'll put a screw in the corner, and I'll push it back and get it flushed out to the end of the rocker. So we'll do that next Tuesday. We'll work on the door. I'll fix this, and we'll get the roof in here, because this in the back, I gotta dig it out. We'll get the drip rails up there and work on the roof, and I'll move this door back and work this quarter panel back. So that'll give us something to do.
We're at like 20-something%.
Yeah, so we'll sit down and chat a minute. And
Charlie says, is it possible that aftermarket drip rails are too long? His are jammed down into the corners of the quarter panels on both sides.
I've had to trim them before. It's a possibility.
That's gonna have to be good enough.
Yeah, I've had to trim them before. That's what I say about doing cars. Don't be afraid to modify it. Yeah. I mean, as long as you ain't taking an inch or something here or there, it's pretty much gonna work. Now, before I don't know if you have them welded in there yet, or if they're just fitted up. But I would try to make sure that your top is good, that it's up high enough there, and the front. I'll have to get with you, because I don't know if you took the pillars or any of the side structure loose, if the whole side structure is, because you could have an issue with the the side structure not being at the right height, right at the top of the door pillar, the A pillar. If it's hitting right, if the drip rail's hitting right there, could be an issue. I know I've had to cut them before. I've had to take them to the shrinker, stretcher, and change the angle of them before. You name it, I've pretty much done it on it. So,
Said side structure is original.
all right, so it's probably long, or it could be the aftermarket quarter panel. That area could be a little bit higher than the factory one. I mean, it's hard to say when you've got so many different variables as far as maybe a Dynacorn drip rail, an AMD quarter panel, Golden Star roof. You know, all that stuff plays into how it fits. I typically try to use, if it's something that attaches to it and it has radiuses, I try to use the same company. If I'm going to use a AMD quarter panel, I'm going to try and use an AMD door, because generally their tooling is made to fit those same angles as the quarter panel. Dynacorns might be different. That's a Dynacorn door, an AMD quarter panel. So you can see that there is a slight difference in the roof. Now, if I had a Dynacorn quarter panel on it, that little area there might be fine. It might not need no adjustment. So,
and we also try to do it on the same side, right? So if you do Dynacorn right door, you need to do a Dynacorn left door, because the lines will be the same, and you don't want to, like, we had a guy came with his car and he brought a Goodmark quarter panel, but then wanted an AMD quarter panel on the other side, and we were like, no, you can just take that Goodmark with you. We're going to put 2 AMDs on there.
Yeah.
Just because you want your lines to match. You don't want to, because people will call you out on that riding down the road.
I mean, you can't see both sides of the car at the same time, but
gawkers do pay attention.
But it does, they're different. I think it's the Charger. The Charger lines, they're more prominent on one quarter panel than they are the other, as far as the body line. So body man might have to work a little harder to take away some of the line or to add some of the line. When you fit the tail panel, I mean, if you got an AMD quarter panel, you need an AMD tail panel so that all that stuff fits better. Not trying to say buy AMD, whatever. If you buy a Dynacorn, use a Dynacorn tail panel. If you buy a Dynacorn quarter panel, use a Dynacorn deck filler. So anything that attaches to it and has contours that you want to be nice, try and stick with the same company on those parts. I know it's hard now because it's hard to get parts.
Like, we even tried, before the parts issue happened, we wanted the frame rails left and right to be from the same place, and trunk floor drop-offs to be from the same place. They all just make it easier to build in the long run, but sometimes you have to do what you have to do to get a car built.
Yeah, see, Gunner said he had to trim his back 1/8 of an inch. And that's fine. And the piece of chrome that goes on there, if it has the chrome, that piece of chrome, you can actually, if there ain't nothing at the end of it, it can hang off. It's not going to come off. So the chrome is going to cover the end and be past it a little bit. Either way, Mike can trim your chrome. I mean,
talk to you later, Bubba.
But
let's see.
I see ya.
Go said he's gonna try to get up here and check it out. That's cool.
Check out what?
I don't know if he's talking to us or somebody else. I don't know. Are you coming to our shop, Go? What? That would be awesome.
Let's see. Great episode. Later.
Charlie said I kind of trailed off on it for now. Yeah, I've seen a couple of you guys say this is a great group of people, and I totally agree. Y'all are an amazing bunch to come hang out with every Tuesday night. We love it.
Yeah. So we'll do some more on the quarter panel fitment and stuff like that, and I might end up making one of the quarter panels not go up there as well, and show you how to correct it, and, you know, kind of set up a scenario on an issue, or if somebody has an issue, I'll see if I can fix it. So who knows, when I go to put the quarter panels back on, they might not go back up there, because once all that inside stuff gets welded, everything's going to shrink up and stuff's going to move a little bit. So it always don't go right back 100% like it came off. But that's why I try to get everything to where I know from experience that when I take the quarter panel off and I put it back on, I'm not going to have any issues. And everything is pretty much there, and I don't believe that I'll have any issue at all. Now on that rear frame rail spacer, I never go any bigger than that 1/2-inch block. I don't think that it would really hurt anything. It's riding on a leaf spring. I don't think it's really gonna hurt anything, but I never go higher. I never have to go higher than that 1/2-inch block. I never have to remove my bolt, and the bolt's only gonna let it go a 1/2 inch on that rear spring hanger piece. So
everybody's saying thanks, great show, and getting ready to close up shop, because they know we're about to close up shop. Look forward to Tuesdays. Juby, you broke the internet on Saturday. That was a very cool thing to do.
I did what?
Mr. Albert said you broke the internet.
I broke it. How'd I break it?
When things are viral or wonderful or over the top or fantastic, like you went ham Saturday and you broke the internet.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's still getting some views, and like I say with that video, I'm gonna try to edit some of the ending off, and I'm gonna add some stuff of along the way the build and make another video and put it out there with some pictures of the car along the way, so people can actually see what it is and what the car came from to the full rebuild. Should be out in the Modern Riding magazine. I actually was leaving out to go to the show after I gave the car to my dad, and the Modern Riding magazine was in the mail. So I grabbed them, and Erin's like, I told her, I said, there's the mail, when we got up there, because she drove her truck. And she's like, why did you grab the mail? Why didn't you just leave it in the mailbox? Because she has to carry it into the shop on Monday morning when we get back. I said, because it had the Modern Riding magazine in it, and I wanted to go through the magazine to see if the car was in there. So I flipped through it, and I was like, man, it'd be crazy if the magazine was here with the first article on Saturday, the day I gave it to him, or told him it was his. Haven't signed the title and stuff yet. I'm still waiting to make him eat an olive and some sushi. Remember I told you guys that
insurance is still in our name.
I told you guys that my dad commented and said he wouldn't eat an olive, you couldn't force him, and I said he would eat sushi. He said he would never eat sushi. So I told him that he's got to eat an olive and sushi on YouTube, or I'm not going to sign the car over.
Y'all all know that's a lie. We're going to try, though.
Nah, I ain't going to make him eat none. But I know he would now to get this car.
Yeah, I think he said he might eat a poop sandwich before letting that car get out of his hands. Yes, Miss Pat, we loved having you on. Thank you.
Yeah, sideways. I told him to try the, I get it all the time, the Super Crunch roll. It is not sushi. It's not raw.
It's sushi, but it's not raw sushi.
It's not raw. It's got a salmon. I like all of it. But the Super Crunch is my favorite.
Meat.
It has, like, I guess it's like sun-baked salmon or something. It's like very low heat baked salmon. So it's still kind of raw, but it's great. I know he would love it, because most of my life I didn't eat it till me and Erin got together. And she told me to try it. I tried it. And every time I go, at least once a week,
We try.
I get it, and I'm like, man, I have missed this all my life. I wish I could turn back the hands of time and go back and eat some more sushi.
Yeah, and on his 40th birthday, he had never had crab legs before, so that's a long story. But we did get crab legs for him on his 40th birthday.
Yeah, we'll talk about crab legs next Tuesday. But anyways,
Crab Walk Tuesday.
Yeah, I want to go there next time.
Sushi is good, Sideways. It is very good. I like the raw kind. I like it all, but it's a taste you either have or you don't. Because me and my mom, I've liked sushi for many years.
Well, he says it's not really a taste, it's a texture.
Smell. I think your mom didn't like the smell of it. But anyway, I got my mom one of the safe rolls, the California roll, which is just avocado, cucumber, and crab meat, which is cooked crab meat. Yeah. And she did not like it.
Go said the California roll.
Yeah.
They're good, but I think the Super Crunch is my favorite. Aaron had one that they just throw together, and it was pretty good.
Yeah. We know the lady that prepares the rolls, and she creates all the neat ones, and she made one special that's not on the menu, and I think it had like eel sauce and Masiago and smoked salmon, cold smoked salmon. Man, that stuff, I could eat that by itself, and I do sometimes. The cold smoked salmon.
Yeah, Sideways says 40 on the crab legs. I'll explain it next Tuesday.
Yes. I'll make a note. We got to talk about the crab legs next Tuesday.
We'll talk about the crab legs on my 40th birthday, which was 3 years ago.
Yeah, because I just turned 40 this year.
And I'm 43, so with that.
Love you guys.
Yeah, love you. And we'll see y'all next Tuesday.
Yeah.
And we'll be welding on this car probably the episode after. So
yeah, so maybe by our 1 year anniversary you'll finish the Camaro. Not that it took you a year to do the Camaro, but on episode 52, that's 52 weeks. We missed one here or there, but close enough, right?
This is 52
episodes, which is a week. We do it every week. So 52 weeks is a year.
But that ain't on building this.
I'm just saying it would be neat that on your 1 year anniversary of Tech Talk, you finish a car.
And how many weeks is that?
52.
52? So I ain't gonna finish it. She's trying to get me to finish. She want to collect that money. 52.
No, that's your car. I don't make any money on that one. That's all you. All right.
Love you guys. God bless
share,
you.
Subscribe, click the bell so you don't miss us next week. Love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. And I guess we'll see you on next Tuesday. That hurts.
Yeah, we'll give away something next Tuesday because I got some DVDs. I actually sent some out to Mr. Fireman. Go check out his channel, Mr. Fireman. Go check out Go. I don't know if I got anybody else on here right now.
We're doing trunk or treat at the church tomorrow.
Yeah, Wednesday night.
Tomorrow. Because Mary said, I hope you get some treats, not tricks. I'm sure we'll sneak some candy tomorrow night from the little children as they do not look. I love candy.
Let's see. I don't know what my brother throwed up here. I hope it's not porn.
Like, share, subscribe.
Yeah,
Hey Trillis, Hickey, thank you for watching. I hope you have a good night too.
But we'll do a giveaway. I'll get some of Craig's DVDs and we'll give some of those away probably. And since Popeye's back, I completely forgot about it. But Popeye is back. He is in the building. He is hanging out in the office, watching the front door. Love you guys, and I'll see y'all next Tuesday.
Good night.